Trail talk time. Out on this beautiful trail. Incredibly gorgeous day out. Just loving the sunny vibes. Breathing that fresh chi. Just loving life. Today I wanted to talk about love and talk about the difference between what I feel is true love versus more of an attachment that we often think of as love. Especially when we see a lot of movies and stuff, romantic movies and love songs and everything. They're very beautiful, very touching and very moving, but oftentimes the type of love that's portrayed in these things is a very needy type of love, a very clingy type of love, an attachment. And sometimes, that's not a very healthy way to love somebody. If we're constantly clinging to them and feeling like we need them all the time, as if we're not complete without them, that can be very smothering for people. If you're overly attached like that. I love what Teal Swan says about love, what true love really is. And she says that it's taking someone as a part of you. Love is realizing that they're actually a part of you. And when you take someone as a part of you, you'll start to want to understand them more, which I think is the main key to truly, finding love and living in love, is like understanding. Really understanding their needs and their wants, and to value them the same way that you value yourself. Realizing that they're just a part of yourself. So you'll start to figure out what they need and try your best to meet their needs, while at the same time meeting your own. And you can meet in the middle. And the healthiest relationships are when both people or all parties are doing this, are working in the best way for everybody to try and figure out how we can all grow in the best way together. It can be difficult to find this type of relationship. Most of the time, one or the other might be gaining more than the other. It takes practice and dedication to one another, and a lot of communication, going back to understanding, to try and know somebody, get to know them on a deeper level. Oftentimes certain fights and stuff can break out in relationships, and they're actually not about that little thing at all, whatever you might be fighting about. There's a deeper issue going on, but it just sparks some type of argument. So I always think it's important to get to the root of things as quickly as possible. If something arises, start to ask questions Like, what is this really caused by? What is really causing this aggravation in me from this other person? And start to realize that they're just a part of you. So there's a reflection going on, and there's an issue within yourself that you need to resolve. That's part of the relationship. And if you truly love someone, then I think it's best to try and figure that out. What's the best way that we can both have our needs met so that it can be as healthy a relationship as possible? And sometimes it's hard when we're in a relationship for a long time. If things aren't working out the best, we might even be scared to go deep and figure out more because we're scared of losing them. We're so attached to them, and we're afraid that it might not actually work out. So we don't even explore the deepest aspects of them to try and figure out the best way to make it work for both parties, because we're afraid that it won't end up working in the end. But I think it's not worth it to just stay in a relationship just to be with someone and not to be alone if it's not truly the best for both of you. Yeah, that's an unhealthy way to be living. If you're not truly going to be fulfilled and be able to be a good match with this person and be compatible, then you're just wasting your time together. And if you truly love them, then you wouldn't just hold on to them and cling to them just to be with them. You would want them to be happy just as you want to be happy. That's true love to me. We've heard that saying, if you truly love them, you must let them go. I think that's so true. I think a lot about God, and what God is to me is essentially just everything, right? Everything is God, the whole of it all that is. And so God is naturally in that state of love, right? If love is taking one as a part of you, then naturally, all things are connected. All things are God. And so God is automatically, loving, in a loving state, loving unconditionally. And unconditional love can be a hard concept for us to grasp and to really follow, and to love unconditionally. Even the best of parents who love their children the most, it might be hard to say that they're even loving unconditionally. Most parents anyways have some types of conditions, whether they like to admit it or not, upon their kids' love. They want them to be a certain way and act a certain way, and if they don't, then there are usually negative consequences. And this can leave so much trauma within children. Most people on the planet are still carrying so much trauma from their childhood, from the way that our parents have raised us with this conditional love. And I mean, nobody's perfect. It's hard to expect someone to always be giving that unconditional love. especially if we weren't raised particularly in that way. But I think the first step starts with taking that definition of love, right? Of what love truly is, of taking someone as a part of yourself. And that way, instead of trying to control or trying to cling to them and possess them, we'll start to just try and get to know them more, learn about them and understand them just as we do ourselves. It's like trying to get to know a part of yourself. And then you're going to be able to figure out what's best for them, right? And how you can actually love them and actually help to meet their needs and give them what they want, because you've gotten to know them and you understand them on a deeper level. And it's a beautiful thing when you do this, when you find that deeper connection. That's what love is all about, those connections, that bond, right? Love is about that beautiful bond that we share. And that's what we all are seeking in life. That's what we all need to survive. You know, they've done studies about babies and kids, you know, seeing the difference between just having their basic physical needs met, giving them food and water and stuff like that, but they didn't give them the actual connection, the loving connection, the bond. And those kids who weren't given that love, they became way more unhealthy. And those that were given the love, they were able to thrive and live in a healthy way, because it's not just, you know, food and water that we need to grow, but it's that deeper connection, you know, that heart connection. And it's so important right now, especially at this time when everybody's practicing social distancing and stuff like that. It's gonna be hard on us because we really need that love, that connection, that closeness. So I think it's important to find it. You know, if you have people close to you, then you're blessed to be able to have that, and, you know, cherish these relationships, cherish those that are close to you, and learn to get to know them more, because it's so important, especially right now. So yeah, that's all I want to share for today. Hope everyone has an amazing day, and keep on spreading that real love. Peace and limitless love.